So let's talk about the first topic. The first topic is the person says, how to motivate ourselves when nothing is going in our favor. So, firstly, thank you very much for the question. I thought that is a great question because, firstly, I think all of us have gone through periods in our life where we feel highly motivated, and then we've also gone through periods in our life where we haven't felt highly motivated. So, I would share with you, firstly, that feeling unmotivated or going through periods in your life where your life is going badly or your life isn't going the way that you want it to go is nothing new. You're actually normal, that you're experiencing that. So that's the first thing that I wanted to share with you. The second thing that I wanted to also share with you is when it comes to motivation, there are two types of motivation. There are extrinsic motivation and there are intrinsic motivations. So external motivations are things like I'm doing this because my mum wants me to do it. I'm doing this because I'm gonna get a paycheck. I'm doing this because I don't. I'm gonna stay in this relationship even though my boyfriend or girlfriend is cheating on me because I don't want to feel embarrassed. I don't want to be embarrassed by this news coming out. The reason why I don't want to go and work out is because I feel that people are going to judge me when I go to the gym. All right, so those are all external reasons, and then there are internal reasons. And what I would share with you, if you're feeling unmotivated or you feel like things are not going your way, and how you want to stay motivated, is you want to try and draw from motivation that is internal. You want to try and draw from motivation which comes from within. Most of us in life, if we look at the place in which we are drawing our motivation, most of us draw our motivation from external factors. I'm sharing with you that if you want to, as you get older and as you develop, you want to try and draw your motivation from internally. And so I believe that there are two kinds of internal motivations. The first internal motivation is what I call about is the heart. So there's either the heart or the soul. So the internal motivation regards to the heart is related to things like your passion. So you're doing something because you're passionate about it. You're doing something because you love it. You're doing something because it makes you feel good, right? You're doing it because of your pride. And the second internal is all about your soul. Now, your soul is to do with things that are to do with like your mission. You're doing it because of your purpose. You're doing it because it is a God-given gift and you want to serve it to the world. Now, what I would share with you and is where you want to try and draw from is that you want to try and spend most of your life drawing from these two external areas, because whenever you're feeling low or whenever things are going wrong in your life, what you want to go back to is a drawing board. You want to go back to, why did I start doing this in the first place? Why am I trying to become successful? Why am I trying to become a winner? Why am I going to university? And ultimately, if you were going there because intrinsically you were doing it for you were doing it because of pride, you were doing it because you love it, you were doing it because it's going to lead you to something greater, something bigger, those reasons are going to keep you going when you're in those dark holes, when you're in that dark tunnel of the unknown, where you don't know if things are going to work out. I would also add this, that one of the things that I share, particularly with leaders, people who are leading other people who are vision driven, they have something out there which they want to manifest into the world, is that all true visions will be tested for authenticity. And what I mean by that is, anybody who says that they have something which they want to manifest into the world, they have a goal which they want to achieve, life has been designed in such a way that it will only give you what is rightfully yours, but also what you deserve. So most of us in life, we presume that if I'm a good person and if I work hard, then I should be able to get what I want. No, it's actually, there are two aspects to it, right? For example, there's a lot of people who are work really, really, really hard and are never successful. And the reason why that is because it's not simply just about being hard, working hard. It's also about luck. Luck has to essentially play a part in whatever it is that you're doing. And so one of the things that I have learned in life is that you can anything is possible for you. You can achieve anything in the world that you want, but not everything was meant for you. Some people can be really, really, really good at singing, but that wasn't their destiny. That wasn't their calling. That wasn't their purpose. And so, as a person, you want to start as you're getting older, as you are growing, as you're developing, as you are trying to move forward into the world. One of the things that you want to do, which is what I've learned in my own life, is that life is really about refinement. In other words, life is about as you go out into the world, is about refining everything, is about cutting, going leaner, is about making everything smaller and simpler and easier. And so as you're aiming towards your goals and your dreams, sometimes there may be moments when you meet a juncture and you say, actually, I thought that this was a right path for me, but actually this isn't the right path. Because one of the questions that you might want to ask yourself is, why are you not motivated? If you are going to university or you are working on a project or you're involved in a relationship and you don't feel motivated to do anything about it and everything is going wrong, one of the questions that you want to ask is, why is everything going wrong? Right? Now, obviously you have to bear in mind that with just like with anything, things are going to go wrong at some point. But if things keep going wrong over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, perhaps it might be that this isn't the path for you. So I would ask you to ask yourself the question whether this really truly is the path. The other thing that I would share with you, particularly if you're feeling unmotivated, is I have what I call, I have this phrase and this kind of a rule that I live by, which is, it is what it is. And what I mean by that is that I recognize that life is built in such a way that there are always going to be peaks and there are always going to be valleys, that there's always going to be good times and there's always going to be bad times. And I think that when you accept that as being the truth for you in your own life, what tends to happen is that you don't get drawn up into the world of believing that you're a victim, of believing that life is happening to you and not for you. And so when you get that, what you can then say is, well, it is what it is. This is what I have to go through in order to get what I want. But if you believe that everything is supposed to be perfect, and it's supposed to be airbrushed, and it's supposed to all go in this way, unfortunately, what's going to end up happening is that you're going to be in suffering a lot of the time. You're going to experience a lot of suffering. You're going to experience a lot of pain. You're going to experience a lot of heartache because you have a vision of how life is. You know where you are right now, but you won't leave any room for improvisation. You won't leave any room for detours. You won't leave any room for error or failure. But when you accept that failure is part of life, rerouting and course corrections is part of life, then it doesn't matter if you have to take a different route. Because ultimately, what I share with people is, it doesn't matter how you get to a destination as long as you get there, right? Yes, of course you can be 10 minutes late. Of course you might have to stop and ask for directions. Of course, you might have to take an A road instead of taking the motorway. But does it really matter? Does it really matter how you get to your holiday destination as long as you get there? No, you might take the train, you might take two planes. Of course, it's an inconvenience and an annoyance, but ultimately what really matters is getting to your destination. And that's why I have that phrase of, it is what it is. Because for me, the way that I see it is, does it really matter that I'm unmotivated at the moment? No. Does it really matter that things are not going the way that they are at the moment? No, because there are going to be times when I'm going to be unmotivated. There are going to be times when I don't feel like I should be on full beam, and I'm going to be operating at 100% Duracell level. There are going to be times when I'm feeling like that. The other thing that I wanted to share with you is to celebrate. You know, and in celebrating, what I mean by this is I encompass in celebration taking a break. I encompass in celebration reflecting on the distance that you've actually traveled. There is a leaning, I guess, or there is a propensity for us as people to never stop to reflect, to never pause, to never take a rest break, because most of us, we believe that if we stop, if we celebrate, that somehow we're going to things are going to start going wrong, that we're going to lose momentum. And yes, absolutely. Obviously, if you stop, you are a lot of the time going to lose momentum. But the thing about momentum that I have found is that if you've got a car and you basically step off the gas off of a car, the car doesn't just immediately come to a stop, does it? The car keeps going along the way, but and you will relate to this if you've ever driven a long distance. If you've ever driven a long distance, let's say 400 or 500 miles, and you've driven on a motorway, you will know that you cannot just keep your accelerator on the gas all the way for the freaking 400 miles. You can't do it. Every now and then you have to put the accelerator on the gas, and then you have to let go, because your foot cannot keep that just pressing down on the accelerator for 4, 5, 6 hours, right? And when you take release of the accelerator, most of us think that if I let go, then the car is going to come to a full halt. No, the car doesn't come to a full halt. The car continues moving along, and that's essentially what you want to look at celebrating as. That's how you want to look at reflection as. That's how you want to look at taking sometimes just taking a break off doing whatever it is that you're doing and just taking a breather. I have found that sometimes when I just step away and I say, do you know what? I'm not gonna write today. You know what? Today I'm not gonna do a video. Do you know what? Today I'm not feeling like I'm gonna go and research something. The next day when I go back, I'm a lot more driven. I'm a lot more passionate. Sometimes I don't feel like running, and or exercising, and so I'll just go a week without exercising. I'll do nothing, and I have a lazy week. And then the next week, I'm actually more. I'm recharged. I'm more motivated. I'm more driven. And that's what I would share with you. And I don't know whether that's kind of answered your question, but that's the kind of answer that I would give you if you're feeling unmotivated. But thank you very much for the question. Okay, so that leads us on to the second question that we have, which is that says it goes something like this.